E3.
Brothers and sisters, welcome to the Not So Super Bash Bros E3 coverage for 2019. Hans,
What?
you're a square, Enix.
That was
Nailed it.
probably the funniest joke you've actually ever said in this channel.
Hans, Square, Enix.
Yep.
Those semi-crazy Japanese lads.
We are so close to being done.
Mm-hmm.
The end is in sight now.
Yep. But Hans, Square Enix, kicking things off with the showstopper, the Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yep.
And I have a question.
Yes.
Is that actually the title of the game?
It's always going to be Final Fantasy VII, I imagine.
But they keep adding remake onto all the logos.
Maybe it will be. We got a problem with that?
Yes, it's dumb.
But it's factual.
Yes, it is correct. It is factual.
So maybe you should just chill out and admire it for how sexual it is that it's actually a thing now.
So we get a huge info dump and some fairly extended gameplay footage. This will be 2 Blu-ray discs worth of content, Hans.
Now, do you remember the rumor it was going to be episodic?
It is episodic.
So,
It is his 2 Blu-ray discs just in Midgar, I believe.
damn.
Which seems madness.
Well, so that must mean that it's going up to the Beth, because obviously the Sephiroth thing was there, so it
Yeah,
must be going
no,
up to
they've confirmed
Beth.
this is just Midgar. The first release is just Midgar.
Really? I see. I would have thought that it just would have went up to Bethlehem, because it seems like a
What?
natural cutting off.
Bethlehem!
Nibelheim. Whoa. Whoa.
No, they came out. No, they've ever since. No, they said in the conference that the first game release, whatever you want to call it, would just be Midgar and focus entirely on Midgar.
Like, as long as it is a good amount of game, I'm not going to be too annoyed about it. You know, like if they're pumping it, they're charging $49.99 for it, and it's like only 10 hours long. Yes, I'm going to be pissed.
But Hans, that will be 10 hours spread over 2 Blu-ray discs.
To be fair, with the graphics, I'm not surprised.
So they kind of showed off how the gameplay and the combat's going to work. It's real-time combat. You will use standard, just generic attacks to fill your ATB meter, which once that is full, you can freeze time to initiate tactical mode. So tactical mode lets you start actually using abilities. So for Cloud, they showed off one of his abilities is his Braver attack, or you can also use materia or items and things like that.
Yeah, I think it seems to kind of be a fusion of Final Fantasy 15 with kind of trying to influence the old Final Fantasy 7 combat.
They can shoot off what I think they'd confirmed this before, that yes, you can play as all the characters. So they showed off in the trailer playing as Barret, playing as Aerith, and playing as Tifa. I can only assume Red you can also play as. They didn't show him, but I assume you can play as him.
Yeah, if you're going up the mid-guard, you'd probably have to.
And they all seem like they play the same with the ATB meter. I think they showed off the Scorpion boss fight, which I thought looked really cool. I think it's how they've kind of translated some of those like mechanics from that fight into a real-time set piece is really cool.
Yeah, I think and even kind of later on in the trailer, you see the fight with, I can't remember what it is, but you know, down in the sewer.
Yes.
After your so I think they've kind of taken the spectacle of the Final Fantasy 15 stuff and added it in, because the boss fights do look pretty awesome.
They show off some sweet bike gameplay.
Yep, and people popped like fuck for it.
You know what else people pop like fuck for, Hans? Tifa. People fucking went absolutely ballistic.
Am I missing something, or?
People really like Tifa.
Okay, sure, go for it.
And yes, as confirmed in the trailer they kind of put out yesterday, this will be available on the 3rd of March 2020, this first release.
I'm going to admit something to you, Nick. I genuinely got goosebumps during that trailer.
Yes, I will admit, watching the trailer and kind of all the gameplay they showed off, I'm now like super pumped for this. As someone whose favourite Final Fantasy game is usually Final Fantasy IX, I'm super pumped for this. We get a trailer for Life Is Strange 2, kind of just recapping everything that's kind of happened in the game so far. I believe they've either just released episode 4 or episode 4 is about to come out.
Is it 5 or 6 episodes?
5, I believe.
You haven't played any of it, have you?
No, I'm waiting for the whole thing to come out before I probably play it. Then we kind of get a big... Well, the Life is Strange 2 is kind of the start of just kind of a big load of trailers that'll kind of rattle through here. So we get a trailer for Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered Edition, coming out on PS4, Switch, and mobile this winter. We get a trailer for Octopath Traveler, which has just come out on PC.
So I'm actually kind of excited about that, because if someone comes across and mods that so that the grinding is less tedious to it, I would genuinely consider buying that game again on PC. Because that was literally the only thing I just couldn't get past, is just the grinding to it. So
we get a trailer announcing The Last Remnant Remastered, available now on Switch. We get an amazing trailer with some of the best voiceover I've heard for Dragon Quest Builders 2. Dude's voiceover was amazing. That's coming out July 24th on the PS4, and Switch, I believe, was also announced in the Nintendo press conference. We get a new trailer for Dragon Quest XI, Echoes of an Elusive Age S, the Switch release of that. And fuck, I really love the classic mode they've put in that. I think it's such a smart idea. We get a kind of a retrospective trailer for the Square Enix Collective, which seems to be like their equivalent of the EA Partner Program that kind of spawned off like stuff like Unravel and A Way Out. Though I haven't really heard of any massive hits coming out of this like you kind of have for EA's.
no, me neither. Nothing here really kind of jumped out.
Yeah,
at me
I think a lot of the ones they showed are already out. The only real new one I think they showed was that Circuit Superstars, which looks like a Micro Machine-esque kind of top-down racer. We get a trailer announcing that I don't know if it's all of Square Enix or just all of Final Fantasy music is now on like most music streaming services.
Yeah, it was a odd announcement, but I did find the trailer quite funny.
We get a trailer that came out a few days ago that Kingdom Hearts 3 is getting DLC.
So, question, Nick.
Yes, Hans.
The fact that Kingdom Hearts is getting DLC, which to my knowledge is something that has not happened before, do you think this will cut away from the in-between sort of games now? So instead of having Final Fantasy 3.5, they will just keep having big DLC packs?
See, I kind of think that this is... Obviously, like, the Kingdom Hearts games before, like 1 and 2, both got, like, those final mix versions that came out in Japan and eventually made their way here as part of the collections. I imagine this is probably just that. Like, the stuff that they probably would have put in... The stuff they probably would have put in the final mix version is probably just going to come in piecemeal as DLC.
Because to me, it just kind of looks like fights that you do that kind of take place during the story that aren't centered around Sora and Donald and Goofy.
Yeah, so like it seemed like the DLC is kind of adding new story beats and the ability to kind of play as those other characters in that like climactic sequence where you're kind of taking out members of the true organization. I did notice like when this trailer went up, a lot of people were like, yeah, it seems weird that you played Sora in all those fights, even though like none of the cutscenes that play afterwards are ever really to do about Sora, that are to do with the character you've helped saved. So it makes sense that you would kind of play as that character with Sora as a companion rather than vice versa.
Yeah.
And there's new Keyblades coming. They're re-adding some old Keyblades, and I think there might have been a new Keyblade in that trailer as well.
It looked like they were re-adding Overdrive as well.
I think that was part of that new Keyblade. I think that was part of the key. I think that was the like transformation on that Keyblade. That's coming out this winter. They didn't mention if it's free or paid DLC. I think it's free though. So we get a new trailer for Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers, the new expansion for their online Final Fantasy game. Kind of doesn't show off anything new, just kind of reaffirms everything that they've announced so far with new classes, new races. They do a launch trailer, which is, as I've written, completely nonsensical to anyone who isn't playing the game. That launches on July 2nd. Gameplay trailer for Dying Light 2. That's still coming spring 2020. I believe that was already announced at Microsoft as well. We get a trailer announcing Hans. Are you excited for Romancing Saga 3 and Saga Scarlet Grace Ambitions coming to the West, finally?
Yeah.
That's good. That's coming soon. I hope you're excited.
Yeah, just can't wait to play that wrestling romance game that you just said, yep.
We get a trailer for War of the Visions, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. Which... What? I was just... Yeah, right there now.
These names are just fucking ridiculous.
Brave Exvius is their mobile Final Fantasy game, and this seems like it's kind of a new game set in that world. Yeah. And is this just Final Fantasy X Game of Thrones?
Probably, yeah.
It's kind of what it seemed like when they were going through like these houses that all had like animals as their sigils and stuff.
See, that was in that Final Fantasy Type 0. that was a similar thing where each nation had a different animal associated to it and color.
But like, even when they like cut to, all right, here's the guy with the wolf sigil, it was even like, yep, these guys are set like in the snowy area. It was very on the nose. So they didn't announce a release date for this, but they did say it's coming worldwide, which I thought was really funny. It's like, what the fuck is the point in announcing that?
It's not coming soon, but it will be coming everywhere. Woo.
Fucking Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide, coming at you.
So it's the Pitbull of video games.
That's a really funny thought. We get the announcement of the new game from the Bulletstorm developers, Outriders. The gist of the story is it's a co-op shooter where your group kind of ventures out into the wilds, hence they are Outriders, to kind of find the source of what's fucking up the world.
Kind of sounds like Anthem.
Yeah, kind of.
That's not a good thing.
We get a trailer for Uninaki.
Excuse you?
Uninaki, which seems to be some form of like
Gunzuntech.
isomet. That's racist. If I was here, he'd be ashamed of you right now. It seems to be some form of like isometric slash 'em up type game coming August 22nd, 2019. We get a trailer for Final Fantasy VIII Remastered. Not remake, remastered.
Oh, don't even. Nick, I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VIII is my least favourite Final Fantasy.
So it's a remaster in the form of kind of how they did 9, where they kind of cleaned up all the textures, cleaned up all the cinematics, and kind of did high-res UI. It's coming later this year, and my final note is fuck Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I'm sure, I know some people do like it, and judging by the crowd reaction, a lot of them were there, but I fucking hate Final Fantasy VIII.
Yeah, it's just not a great Final Fantasy game.
It seems divisive. Like, either it's the Marmite, like, either really love it or you really hate it.
And then we got our final game of the show, Hans. Marvel's The Avengers. And Hans, are you ready to celebrate Avengers Day? It's such a dumb holiday.
Make Avengers great again.
Yep. So they don't really show off kind of much of what the gameplay actually is. There's some brief snippets of gameplay in that trailer.
Glimpses, yeah.
But from what I can glean, it kind of seems like there's 5 core Avengers. We've got Thor, Captain America, Iron Man, the Hulk, and Black Widow. It's quite a short trailer, which I'm kind of shocked by. And the fact that they didn't really show off much extended gameplay was kind of weird. Yeah,
they made a big deal about this, so you kind of thought it would be have as much info about it as, say, the Final Fantasy VII one almost did. What they showed and kind of what they talked about, yes, it does sound good. And even in some of those stills towards the end, you know, it looks like you can kind of swap between all 5 on the fly, or you can swap between whoever's there on the fly. It's third-person action. It's like, obviously, I'm hesitantly optimistic. The best way to describe it.
They do a short trailer kind of with all the voice actors of the main 5 and Hans. Troy Baker is a handsome man. He is, and I'm not going to lie, I would totally ship Troy Baker and Nolan North. Then you should watch Retro Replay then. Why? It's like them just playing through old games. No, but like I would like they would have really handsome babies, both handsome sounding and handsome looking. And yeah, we kind of get it confirmed this is a 4-player online game, which will have a growing roster of heroes and regions, all of which will be free. And my note is this Avengers Destiny? I'm hoping not, because that's kind of what that sounds like. So, yeah, I think like I was expecting more, but I'm still like I'm happy enough with what I saw. I would like to see more. I think they did say there would be like a demo on the show floor, so I wonder what that demo looks like and how that plays. That's kind of what I want to see. Like, I think the premise of it's neat, but I'd want to see what the actual gameplay loop is before I'm like, yeah, fuck, this looks great. That's announced to be coming out May 15th, 2020. And then they get a teaser for Ant-Man at the end. Yes, there's... I wonder if that's just saying, yeah, there's other people in the story and Ant-Man's there, or is that kind of teasing that Ant-Man will be the first of these free heroes that they're releasing post-launch? And yeah, that's the end of the show. They closed with Avengers, and yeah, that was it. Overall, I thought there was a lot... Like, last year's Square Enix show was complete, like, shit, for lack of a better term, because they kind of had nothing worth showing that wasn't already shown elsewhere. And I think they've kind of rectified that this year with kind of big reveals for themselves between the Final Fantasy VII Remake and the Avengers, as little as they showed of the Avengers. But yeah, I think, honestly, for me, the Final Fantasy VII Remake was the star of this show, and I think it, as someone who was very kind of I felt like they were doing it just to kind of appease people. Seeing it now in action, I'm a lot more like excited for it to get my hands on it and see what it actually is like.
I thought this was one of the better events of the show. They had their two big staple games and bookended the show with it. So you had Final Fantasy at the start, and you had Avengers at the end, and everything in between was, it was interesting. It was mostly trailers and stuff, but it was interesting enough. But at least they had two things where they went into a bit more detail about. Yes, okay, so there wasn't gameplay, but there were still story beats and stuff like that. And to be fair, the story for Avengers does seem very interesting, about the fact they pretty much fuck up and then almost disband to an extent. So yeah, it was definitely one of the better shows. I would say, in my opinion, I would say it's been the best show of the conference so far, or of the convention so far.
Yes, so that does it for Square Enix. Up next, join us later on for Nintendo's E3 Direct.
Join us in 3 minutes.
Yes.
For Nintendo Direct.
Whenever Hans decides to upload them. But for now, it's a goodbye from Hans.
Avengers Assemble next.
And it's a goodbye from me. Let's Nintendo go. Get it?
Hope you die.
Do you get it?
I actually hope you die. In a fire. A barn fire, to be precise.